Hey folks, Newer to Gaming here. Today I've got something really special for you. As you might have seen, I recently reviewed Dragon Age Veilguard and it got me thinking, why not dive back into some BioWare's older games to see how they hold up? You know, take a little trip down the memory lane. Now, BioWare has a pretty impressive portfolio. From the first two Baldur's Gate games, which are still topping the best RPG of all time lists, to Dragon Age Origins and the original Mass Effect trilogy. And yes, as far as I'm concerned, there is only 3 Mass Effect games. Andromeda? Never heard of it. Must be a glitch in the Matrix. But today I don't want to talk about any of those. Sure, they're great games, well made, engaging and maybe a tad dated, but they were, let's face it, comparatively safe choices. They built upon genres and settings tapping into popularity of Western fantasy and sci-fi. Back then, RPGs were either Dungeons & Dragons inspired epics, or space operas straight out of Star Wars or Star Trek, or Babylon 5 or anything else that you like to watch. However, there was one game that stood out, a game that BioWare created that's unlike any other they've made, and honestly unlike much else on the market even today. As you've probably guessed from the title, I'm talking about Jade Empire. Jade Empire is one kind of a gem, and perhaps it's for the best that BioWare didn't turn it into a franchise, given what they've done to some other of their IPs. You all know what I'm talking about. What makes Jade Empire so unique is, well, almost everything. Instead of the usual Western fantasy or sci-fi setting, it immerses you in a Chinese martial arts focused empire. It's a brilliant example of how games can be creative by exploring different cultures and blending them with the Western game mechanics. So why am I bringing Jade Empire now? Well, in an era where many games feel like they're cut from the same cloth, Jade Empire stands as a reminder of what can happen when developers take risks and embrace creativity. Plus, who doesn't love a good roundhouse kick delivered with a side of mystical chi powers? The style of Jade Empire is reminiscent of a children's book about faraway land in the East. It embraces the stereotypes in a charming way, with the characters like Wise Master, the friendly but slightly dim-witted strongman, and of course, the enigmatic assassin with a dark past. The game is bursting with the vibrant colors and features some truly captivating architecture. The Imperial City, for instance, looks nothing like an actual city might, but it's an absolute delight to explore nonetheless. It's like stepping into a painting where every corner holds a new surprise. Now, let's dive deeper because Jade Empire doesn't stop at setting and style, it goes all in on the details. Even the character names add to the overall atmosphere. You've got companions like Sagacious Zoo, a reserved and mysterious figure with troubled past. He's not just wise, he's a complex character who offers deep insights but also harbors secrets that could change everything. Then there's Handpecked Ho, a former arena champion who runs a tea house while humorously dodging his overbearing wife, hence the Handpecked moniker. His constant tales of marital woe add a lighthearted touch to your epic quest. But wait, there's more! Black Whirlwind is the epitome of lovable brute and perhaps my favorite character in the whole game, burly warrior who's deadly with his axes as he's oblivious to social niceties. He loves nothing more than a good fight and a stiff drink, preferably at the same time. Then we have Silk Fox, that is a possible romantic companion, an enigmatic noblewoman leading a double life as a skilled assassin. She's not just your typical femme fatale, her intricate backstory and personal quests add layers of political intrigue to the narrative. These companions aren't mere stereotypes, they're well-crafted characters with rich backstories and personal motivations. Their unique names and personalities contribute to the fairy tale vibe, reminiscent of the very first Fable game, which, by the way, is a fantastic game that I highly recommend. Seriously, if you haven't tried it yet, you're missing out. Instead of using mana, like every other RPG, Jade Empire uses chi to better correspond with Eastern setting. It's like Mana's cooler cousin who studied abroad in Shanghai and came back wearing silk robes. The deities in the game aren't just your typical humanoid gods either, they're Chinese dragons, foxes and other anthropomorphic creatures playing godly roles. Think of it as a mythological zoo where everything can either bless you or eat you. They even developed their own language for the game. Yep, BioWare went full Tolkien on this one. This fictional tongue serves as an ancient language spoken by gods, mythical creatures, or that one NPC who always has to be extra. It adds to the feeling that this setting is unique and intriguing to the explorer. You won't find another wyvern-like dragon or pack of goblins ruining your day here. No siree, you are in uncharted territory where the unexpected is the norm. The game also sprinkles in a bit of steampunk flavor with those flyers, steam machinery and other technological marvels. It's kind of anachronistic tech we sometimes associate with Far East during that time period. I mean, Chinese did discover gunpowder, so throwing in some steam-powered gizmos isn't that much of a stretch. Many of their inventions look a tad like Da Vinci's design, you know, the kind you encounter in Assassin's Creed 2, but with more Eastern flair. They even add Kang the Mad, a crazy but brilliant inventor who supplies you with all sorts of mechanical wonders. Because let's face it, what's an epic adventure without the mad inventor who's one lab accident away from turning himself into a human firecracker? Now let's take a moment to appreciate the graphics of Jade Empire. Released back in 2005, you might expect the visuals to be as outdated as dial-up internet, but surprisingly, the game's art direction holds up remarkably well, and in some cases it feels like timeless classic rather than a relic of the past. The game's aesthetic is a vibrant tapestry woven from the rich threads of Chinese mythology and folklore. Every environment is meticulously crafted to immerse you in a mystical world. From the serene beauty of the quiet Chinese village, where you have trained from your childhood, to the bustling streets of the imperial city, adorned with ornate architecture, each location feels alive and brimming with small details, enhancing the atmosphere. Now let's talk gameplay. This is where Jade Empire really shines like a well-polished katana. And yes, here I go misattributing Japanese and Chinese swords. Would you be happier if I said Jian or Dao? None of those are in the game, by the way. Your character, as well as your companions and enemies, use styles to battle each other. Every weapon, spell or martial art is considered a style and can be switched on the fly during the combat. And not only is style switching allowed, but it's also highly encouraged. Why? Because certain combinations might net you a harmonic combo, resulting in a power-up upon successful execution and a guaranteed obliteration of a weaker opponent. It's like chaining combos in a fighting game, but with more mystical chi and fewer sword thumbs. Now, let's delve deeper into most distinctive aspect of Jade Empire, the combat styles. The game offers an impressive array of styles divided into several categories: martial, weapon, magic, support, and transformation styles. Each category brings its own flavor to combat, and mastering them is like assembling the ultimate buffet of butt-kicking techniques. Who doesn't love a good combo platter? Martial styles are your unarmed combat techniques. Think classic kung fu movies where the hero takes on a horde of enemies with nothing but fists, feet, and snazzy outfit. Styles like Legendary Strike and Thousand Cut lets you unleash rapid attacks without consuming any resources. It's perfect for when you're low on chi but high on the desire to introduce your enemies to the floor. Up next come weapon styles, introducing blades, staves and other instruments of mayhem into the mix. They're fantastic against mortal enemies and demons, allowing you to deal increased damage. But against spirits, well, trying to slash a ghost is about as effective as using plastic spoon to carve a statue. Not gonna happen. So, when you see the ethereal glow, it's time to use some of the magical stuff you learned, so here we go to magic styles, that allow you to manipulate elemental forces like fire and ice. Styles such as Dire Flame and Ice Shard are perfect for dealing with those pesky spirits who scoff at your physical attacks. Just imagine the surprise when you roast them with a fireball. Who's laughing now, you weird black-coated ghost? Support styles are all about controlling the battlefield and debuffing enemies. Techniques like Heavenly Wave slow down the opponents, while Paralyzing Palm can leave them immobilized. It's like sending your foes a calendar invite to their own defeat, they're not going anywhere. Transformation styles let you morph into various creatures, gaining their abilities and strength. Ever wanted to become a toad demon and hit enemies with your poisonous tongue? Well, now's your chance. But here's the catch, they're prohibitively expensive in chi. You can't spam this stuff like Wizard would spam fireballs, so unless you go full magic build, which is the best build in my opinion, then you would need to be very careful with the chi management and transformations. So now I will be talking about the story, so if you want to avoid spoilers and if you are planning to play this game, please go to here. Okay, so once those guys are gone, let's talk about the story. You begin your journey as top student in Two Rivers Martial Arts School, tucked away in a peaceful village under the guidance of the wise and enigmatic Master Li. It's kind of a place where the biggest worry should be perfecting your crane stance, not saving the world. But of course, peace doesn't make for an exciting adventure, does it? One fateful day, the tranquility is shattered when the school is attacked by some weird sorcerer guy who summons ghosts and some pirates. It turns out that this was all staged attack by Lotus assassins. They were only hoping to gather some slaves in a far-off village, but actually struck gold, since your master reveals that you are the chosen spirit monks, and he himself is an emperor's brother. Talk about crazy amount of story twists right there in the first chapter. The game doesn't even try to create a story of underdog rising to greatness. From the very first act of your adventure, everyone will be telling you that you are the special guy and you are destined to save the world. However, all of this have an unexpected twist that I will let you all learn by yourselves if you play the game. Once your school rival finds out that your master is Emperor's brother, he kidnaps one of your companions, Dawnstar, and also organizes an attack on your school which results in his death, quite earned, and destruction of everything and everyone you knew except for your master, who is now kidnapped, and Dawnstar that you just saved. Determined to rescue your mentor, you set off on a journey across the whole Jade Empire. Along the way, you uncover a web of corruption that reaches all the way to the Imperial throne. It turns out that the Emperor Songhai isn't the benevolent ruler the propaganda posters make him out to be. He's been tampering with the natural order with life and death, disrupting the wheel of life by imprisoning the water dragon, the deity responsible for the cycle of souls, and the deity that also all you spirit monks are serving. Essentially, he's hoarding the immortality like someone who keeps all the good snacks for themselves. Not cool, Emperor. Not cool. Your journey isn't just a physical one, it's spiritual and moral odyssey. At least it tries to be. The game introduces you to the local morality system in the form of way of the open palm or the way of the closed fist. By explaining you those two philosophies in depth, it tries to trick you into thinking it's deeper than the choice between good and evil, and that both of those philosophies are just a different outlook in life. But really, following the way of the closed fist means you're comically evil, even when it's not truly necessary, and open palms is being a goody two-shoes hero, which I don't mind. However, the worst part of this in the game is that the few best combat styles are hidden behind the evil walkthrough. In general, some of the quests and their resolutions are only available to heroes with certain morality, as well as certain styles are only efficient in the hands of either good or evil Shaolin monk. As you delve deeper in the story, you venture into a spirit world, confront restless ghosts, and battle ancient demons. You'll visit the haunted forest Shadow, navigate the treacherous Lotus Assassin Fortress, and even participate in the epic Imperial Arena where the stakes are as high as the audience excitement. The game has a lot of interesting side quests that I won't be listing here, suffice to say that it ranges from finding a guy's cow, even though his wife was also lost, to debating cultural differences between pseudo-European and pseudo-Asian cultures, with pseudo-conquistador that can award you the best weapon in the game. Before we wrap things up, let's touch on the technical aspects of Jade Empire. Given that the game was originally released in 2005 for the Xbox and later ported to PC, you might be wondering how well it holds up on modern systems. The good news is that special edition available on platforms like Steam and GOG has been optimized for newer hardware. It includes improved graphics, higher resolutions, and even some extra content like new fighting styles and monsters. It's like the game got a fancy new outfit for this encore and performance. However, it's not all smooth sailing, or should I say some smooth flying on the cloud. Some players have reported issues like crashes and glitches, especially on Windows 10 and 11, but fear not, most of these hiccups can be fixed with a bit of tinkering, adjusting compatibility settings, installing community patches, or sacrificing a virtual go to tech gods. It's a small price to pay to experience this gem of a game, and let's be honest, we've all dealt with far worse for lesser rewards. I'll add couple links in the description for essential fixes in my opinion. You can decide whether to install them or not. I also recommend installing 4GB memory patch to allow the game to utilize more of your RAM. It's a very common thing for most of the older games that they require this. Overall, Jade Empire runs well enough, and the minor technical hurdles are worth overcoming to dive into its rich world. Plus, the modding community has contributed tweaks and enhancements that can further improve your experience. So if you're tech savvy or just persistent, you'll have no trouble immersing yourself in the game. So, what's the final verdict on the Jade Empire? Simply put, it's a timeless classic that offers a unique blend of engaging storytelling, dynamic combat, memorable characters, and a richly crafted world inspired by Chinese mythology and folklore. It's a game that dared to step outside the typical Western fantasy and sci-fi settings, and in doing so it created an experience that's still unparalleled today. Whether you're a fan of RPGs, martial art epics, or just great storytelling, Jade Empire has something to offer. It's a journey that challenges you morally and strategically, all while keeping you entertained with its humor and heart. And let's not forget the joy of pulling off Harmonic Combo or transforming into colossal beast to turn the tide of battle. It's these moments that make the game truly magical. If you haven't played it yet, now's the perfect time to give Jade Empire a try. And if you're a returning player, perhaps it's time to revisit the Jade Empire and see if you can uncover new secrets or make different choices. Who knows, maybe this time you'll side with the way of closed fist and see where this path leads you. In a gaming landscape filled with sequels, reboots and endless open worlds, Jade Empire stands out as a refreshing, focused adventure that knows exactly what it wants to be, and excels at it. It's like the rare book you find in a tucked up corner of the library that captivates you from the first page to the last. So go ahead, step into the world of Jade Empire and embark on an adventure that is as thrilling as it is thought-provoking. Trust me, it's a journey you won't soon forget. Thank you a lot for watching this video, guys. If you like, please leave a comment, subscribe, or leave a like under the video, and see ya.